Hey, what's up, guys? In this video, I want to talk to you about the importance of having a stay-at-home wife, a mother to your children at home, and the role of traditional families. All of these things are extremely important and subjects that are in our current day and age being neglected, not only neglected, but are being turned away from and frowned upon for some reason. We are being taught the opposite, or at least young girls are, that it is something of a negative or an insult to you to suggest that you should be a stay-at-home wife and mother. Where for me, it's the logical thing. It makes the most sense. And having that traditional family in the sense of a mother, a father, and children. There is nothing better than that when you judge the scenario with the right mindset. And what I mean by that is we currently live in a time where people just make decisions that are for themselves only. My opinion is when you have children, the decision-making process has to change. And it now becomes what is best for the children. And if you decide things from that viewpoint, you'll see that the answers are going to be very different. Specifically with this husband, wife, mother, and father in the household circumstance. Nobody out there can tell me or convince me that it is better for a child to grow up in a single-parent household or to grow up out of wedlock where his mother is having multiple relationships with different men and the child is observing this. Nobody can convince me that that's a good thing or anywhere close to being better than the traditional family. So if you're deciding based on the right reasons, you'll see that the way we're currently acting is all wrong. The direction that we're headed is all wrong. And when it comes to the empowered woman who wants to go out and work and have a career for herself, this is also not the best thing for the children or for your marriage, for your relationship, or for your husband. It is the worst thing, okay? Now, I don't want you guys to get the idea that there are women out there that just naturally think like this. It's very unlikely that you're going to encounter women with the correct attitude and mindset towards these subjects because of the times we live and what they've been taught since they were little girls. You need to correct them in their behavior and in their incorrect thinking. You need to mold them into the right type of woman. And many of you may take offense to that, females especially. I don't care. Because that's been the case in my reality always. That's what it is. There is no perfect woman. I like to say that I have a wife who is as close to perfect as can be. But that's not to say that that's the way she was when I met her. She was not like that completely when I met her. There was a lot of me explaining things to her and reasoning with her and making her understand in her own way why the things that I'm telling her are in fact the right way and best decisions for us. So you're not going to find the girl out there who's just going to say these things to you right off the bat and know these things. It's your job as a man to put this information in them and in the right way. And you'll never be successful in doing that if they don't look at you with respect. That's the problem with most relationships these days. The women don't respect you. And if they don't respect you, they're not going to give a fuck what you think. This same thing I'm telling you applies to all women that I have in my life. None of them come right. But I promise you, any one of them that I spend any good amount of time with leaves or stays much better than when they came. Because they respect me. And they respect my knowledge. They respect the way I carry myself and my motives. They know. And I explain to them in ways that they can't argue against. So if you're not able to do that, and if you're not able to make your point in a way that the other person cannot debate against successfully, you're not going to be able to get across to any female out there. So you need to work on yourselves before you even think about correcting a female in the way that she's thinking. All right, so going back to the initial topic, guys. It is wrong to go from relationship to relationship. Okay? I see people casually dating and getting involved with each other. That's a mistake. The way I have always been is that the only people I'm going to get involved with are people that I can potentially see myself with forever. That's it. So if you're dating someone and you know already that there's no possibility that you're going to marry this person, or you don't want to marry them and have kids with them, you need to get out of that relationship. You're in the wrong relationship and you need to stop sleeping around. This applies to both the men and the women. It's not okay to just have fun with people. Our society is fucked up, and one of the major reasons is that kind of thinking. That people think it's all right to just go casually from relationship to relationship with no intention of spending their lives with this person. Think about what I just said. Do not get involved with someone unless you believe that this is the person that you could be with for the rest of your life. That is the right attitude towards these things. And we don't have that in our current times at all. It's the opposite. Okay? So the traditional family role is very important. We have accepted that it is okay for kids to grow up in single parent households. I'm telling you, it's not. And the result of that kind of thinking is clear. Look at the kids. They're getting worse and worse because they're growing up without fathers for the most part. And they're seeing their mothers be promiscuous. And they're growing up to be little pieces of shit with no fucking morals, no honor, no integrity, nothing. And you have to put blame where the blame goes. And in this case, it's the women and the men who think that this is okay. And I don't understand it because since I was young, I always had the same attitude towards having children. If I have a child with someone, even if it's the wrong person, that child is more important than my own life. I will sacrifice and I will always be there and be included in that child's life. Not living outside of the house somewhere else with another woman or family and visiting the child, but there as a father, no matter what. If a woman ever gets pregnant by me, that child will be raised by me in my family forever. It's my child, no matter what. And I don't understand how men can walk away from their children. Who the fuck taught you how to be men? You have no fucking honor? You think it's okay to just have multiple children by different women and not be a father, not be a real father to any of them? In my eyes, you're a piece of shit. I hate to say it, and I know many of you out there are probably in that situation, and a lot of it may not be in your control. The women are in control, but I also blame you for that. Either for getting involved with the wrong type piece of shit women, or for not having the ability to do what I said before, to convince the women in the right way of thinking. It's not an easy thing to do, but it is possible. And that's what has to happen for the most part if you want to have a traditional family. So the last point, again, going back to the original topic, it is much better for women to be at home as a wife and as a mother to the children than to be out with a career. Most of the time, the amount of money you'll have to pay for somebody else to come take care of the children compared to the amount of money the woman would make in a career or job is not going to be that much difference anyway. Even if it is. Even if it's going to cost you an extra $1,000 a week, let's say, $50,000 a year to have the mother of the children be at home with them, it's well worth it. You can't put a price on that. I would never have somebody else raising my children. Never. It's the mother's responsibility. That's her role. That's the role of my wife, is to be there for me as a wife and for the children as a mother. That's her job. She doesn't have to worry about anything else. She doesn't need to go to work and worry about paying the bills. That's my job. And these roles are very important to maintain. Things get all fucked up when you start crossing lines and saying, okay, it's both of our responsibilities to make the money and to have jobs and to worry about those things. Everything gets fucked up. The women probably don't even need you anymore if they can do that on their own. It's my job, my role as a man, as a husband, and as a father. My wife doesn't need to worry about the things that I need to worry about at all. And all the while, it's also my role to make sure that I'm guiding my wife and children in the right direction regarding everything in life. I have to teach them. I'm their teacher to all of them. And I'm responsible if they turn out being little pieces of shit like most others are these days. I'm at fault, nobody else. I'm not going to blame the school system. I'm not going to blame the media or the times we live in. I'm at fault because I'm the teacher. And it's not to say that my wife doesn't do any work. You know, a lot of people think that if you have a stay-at-home wife, that she doesn't do anything. That's bullshit. She works hard in what she does. And I don't need her to do anything more. I don't need her to give me money every week or bring money home or pay bills. It doesn't make sense to me. And like I said, even if I could make my life easier by having her work, which I'm sure I could, it's not worth it. It's not worth changing the dynamic of the traditional family. That is the most important thing. So I'm going to wrap this video up, guys, by giving you some advice. Don't fall into that trap of common day thinking that it's okay to have broken families and okay to bounce casually from relationship to relationship, knowing damn well that you have no intention of being with this person for the rest of your life. Don't be fucking whores and sleep around. That's not a good thing for anybody. Go into relationships for the right reasons and only for the right reasons. And when you do have children and you do have a wife, you make sure that you fucking guide them in the right way. You make sure that they are thinking in the right way about everything in life. And don't go into these decisions lightly. Don't have children casually. Don't think that. You need to make sure that the person you have a child with is the right person and is thinking along those lines. That I'm going to be woman to my man and I'm going to be mother to the children. That's my role. I hope you guys got something good out of this. Give it some thought, please. And share your comments as always. I'll talk to you next time. Thanks.